Okay. Thank you guys for sticking around. Another great crowd here tonight. Again, did a great job willing us back in the game, giving our guys a lot of adrenaline to come out, really compete at a very high level in the second half. We didn't play particularly well starting the game in the first half. Give TJ and his team a lot of credit, though. They came out. They were very aggressive. They were really physical with us early in the game. Really made it difficult for us to get some really good looks in the first half. So, give those guys a lot of credit. They got one of the best defenses in the country, and they came to play with a lot of competitive spirit in the first half. I thought give my guys a lot of credit in terms of how hard they played, in the second half. But, I said to them, this time of year you can't, again, first 20 minutes of the game, you can't let your offense affect what you do defensively. And, again, back on our crowd. Our crowd's been great, man. We're going to need you again on Saturday against West Virginia. Another talented team will be coming in here, and hopefully, we'll, again, have this with us for one night, and we'll try to regroup. We'll come back, and we'll put it all on the line for you again.
Question for the players, please. Thomas in the front, please.
Dylan, kind of two-part question. How can y'all get going early in games? And then in the second half, what got you going, specifically scoring?
Yeah, it's all about being engaged on defense for us. That first half, they had jumped out to, I think, a 9-2 lead. And we gave up, I think, 2 layups, an open three-pointer. So just being engaged on defense and playing as hard as we can. We didn't really play with the edge in that first half, which is something that we've feel like we played with the last 2 games, and we didn't have it in the first half, and that's why that happened in the first half. But what's the second part of the question?
How did you get going in the second half, scoring?
Yeah, I just tried to be aggressive, honestly. That's all.
Chip, up right.
Max, can you talk about the defense that Lipsy played tonight, and can you talk about Dylan getting, 17 points in the final 8 minutes to get that thing back to 3?
Yeah, they came out playing, really aggressive on the defensive end, and we missed some easy looks at the beginning of the game, but we gotta, continue to play defense with the intensity we need to, and we can't give up, a whole half like that and expect to win. So, we have to fix that, and then the second half, thought we did a better job of guarding, just trying to get Double D to, some spots that he likes, and get him some open looks, and he knocked them down.
Eric in front.
This question's for Dylan. Dylan, past couple nights, you guys got to a couple of rough starts, 14-4 against TCU and then down 18-6 here tonight. Just what needs to change from, kind of the opening tips as far as getting you guys in position to, be in better position in the games?
Yeah, we think we just need to be locked in to the scouting report off the rip of the game. I think at TCU, we started slow as well, and scoring 4 points doesn't help either. But we can't let our offense, like Coach said, dictate our defense, and I think that's what we've done the last 2 games. Or we did in the first 4 minutes of the last game, but then we kind of turned it around and started playing defense with intensity, picking up the ball full court, getting deflections and pick and roll defense, which are things that we didn't do in that first half tonight.
No one back here, more?
For Dylan as well. I know the mood is down after the loss, but just personally, what does a night like tonight do for confidence in your journey back from the injury, kind of getting back to where you were at the end of last season?
Yeah, I'm confident in my game. Tonight has no bearing on that confidence. Honestly, I'm more worried about the fact that what we did as a team tonight, and not coming out with that win. We wanna win our home games and make our fans happy, and we feel like we let them down. So that's really what we're worried about tonight.
Max, they were blitzing you early, sending Damon and then another guard at you. What's your mindset when you see two guys that are big and long in your face? What's your mindset because they're trying to take away your scoring?
Yeah, I've played against guys that are athletic and long, so just once they kind of put 2 on me and blitz me, just trying to get off of it and letting the other guys play.
Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Questions for the coach, please. Joe, right in front.
Rodney, how do you get Tyrese going and out of a funk after what he did tonight?
Well, again, I think I always tell guys we never go into games, thinking that we have to shoot our way into a great night. I always tell our guys to go in and get really lost playing hard on defense, and you get lost playing really hard on defense. offense comes a little easier to you. You make that cut when you need to make that cut. You step into that shot when you step into that shot. You get downhill and you have a finish when you need to have that finish. But you get lost playing really hard on that end of the floor. And I don't think we were that engaged the first 10 minutes of that game in terms of the way we needed to defensively. And he's had really his best games on offense, when he's locked in on defense and really guarding hard and engaged, talking, communicating, and playing on that end of the floor at a very high level. He'll bounce back. Tonight he didn't, collectively as a group we didn't play well. So it's not one particular person not playing well on offense. And again, whether you get off to a good start or a bad start, we've had some games where we get off to good starts offensively, and we weren't able to sustain it throughout the course of the game. So I just tell guys you got to work the game this time of year, 40 minutes, and I talked to them this week about trying to understand what it takes to play tournament basketball. Tournament basketball is you can't waste 20 minutes, and start learning to play, like your season is ending right now, and with that kind of urgency. So we still got to continue to work on that. We'll continue to grow. And the one thing I will say about this team is still has a lot of, still has a ceiling to continue to get better.
RT, kind of piggybacking off of what you said about the need to play 40 minutes, how challenging is it for you from a coaching perspective to kind of play the type of ball game you're looking to play when you end up in early deficits?
Well, it's a good league. I mean, we got good players in this league. We got good coaches in this league, and, I feel like we have a really good team, and I think the thing for us is still just grasping, understanding, we have to have an edge for 40 minutes, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but we have to compete, have an incredible competitive spirit about us. And, I said to our team today, you had two teams coming in here that play very similar in terms of trying to out-scrap one another. The team that came in and was the scrappiest team and got after each other and ended up being the toughest team is going to get a chance to win this game. And, again, I give my guys credit for fighting back and putting ourselves in a position, but give them credit too. They came out the first 10, 15 minutes and really set the tone on how they wanted to play and how hard they wanted to guard as well.
Chip on your front right.
RT, you cut it to 3, and they get Dylan up in the air, draw the foul, and then come back down, and Tyrese turns it over, and they hit a 3 coming back. Dylan, he gets up in the air on that. How do you get a kid to not bite on that up fake? And did you think Tyrese was turning down shots there late in the game?
Well, again, all I used to tell our guys is stay aggressive. We want to be in attack mode at all times, and whether you're making shots or not making shots, you stay engaged in the game. Tyrese had 7 assists in the game, so he was sharing the ball in that regards. But the young kid's a good player. He's a good young player. He has a really good Euro game. I mean, we tried to recruit him as well, and we came up short in that recruitment process right there. But he's a terrific young player, and with a bright future ahead. Has a really good shot fake. I think our guys understood, what he brought to the table and the need for him to score for those guys as well. DM plays with a lot of energy and activity. And again, just staying down and, not putting him in that kind of position. Again, I don't fault his effort in terms of how hard he was trying to play. And, that time of the game, you just got to, know time and situation. And again, I actually thought he was a pretty good defense, and could have kind of been a play on, but that's my opinion as well. So not criticizing anybody about that, but I never fault my guys' effort and want to,
Thomas right in front.
Coach, you guys have played well on the road in the Big 12, but you're 1-4 at home in the Big 12. Have you noticed, are the guys more focused on the road, or what have you noticed, to comparing home and away games?
Man, that's a great question right now, and we're still trying to work through that. I think, we've been a pretty good home team over the course of the time that the Moody Center's been open. Again, we've had great crowds here that's given us great energy to try to will us to wins. I mean, you're down 17 to a pretty good team, ranked team in our own building. I thought our crowd did a great job of willing us back into the game. I thought our guys' effort, willed us back into the game. I think, again, you just got to get lost in playing the game, and you got to be dialed in and locked into everything we're trying to get done offensively and defensively. And again, I think whether you're home or away in this league, the most competitive team and the team that comes in and brings that competitive spirit at a high level is going to win games in this league. It's really critical in the Big 12 that you try to win your home games, because you know how hard it is on the road to win games, and our guys understand that. It's not a lack of effort or guys not wanting to. We just got to find a way to get it done.
Caleb, right in front.
Coach, 14 turnovers overall, 9 in the first half. Was that a product of just like not coming out focused, or was that just more Iowa State's defense being really good?
I think you give them credit. I thought they did a really good job in the first half of really pressuring and speeding Max up and speeding our guards up a little bit faster than we wanted to play. They took him out a few times. But even with all that, we still got some good looks that we had opportunities to score the basketball, but they played really well defensively. It's what they do. They force you into turnovers, and going into the game, the biggest key in the game was going to be us taking care of the basketball and not giving them an opportunity to score points off turnovers. And, in the first half, they willed it their way to doing that against us. Second half, we had 5 turnovers. We get shots that we want to get. We don't get sped up as much. And, again, you give those guys credit in terms of how hard they played on that end of the floor.
Two last ones for Coach. Son, go ahead, please.
Hey, RT, the slow starts the last couple of games. The margins for error are so small for you guys when you're down, and especially in this league. There's no way to manufacture starts. What do you do when it just keeps on happening?
Well, if I look back at our last couple games, I thought we got off to a decent start against Houston. Had a great start against BYU in terms of scoring the ball and being right there. And then, again, like we started the game at TCU, and I always tell our guys, again, I said it earlier, you got to get lost playing really hard on defense, and offense will come easy to you. Whether you get off to a good start, bad start, no one in this league is going to knock anybody out. It's going to be 40 minutes. You got to work the game. You got to come back. You got to put some consecutive stops together, and then you got to come down and execute what you're trying to get done on offense. And again, they got out to a lead. We got a chance to cut that thing down, going into the half. But that's no secret with it. And then you got to value taking care of the ball, and you got to get shots on your terms. And then you got to sit down and guard. When you're not scoring, you got to get stops on the other end. So that in itself, in terms of basketball, is a game of runs. You stop runs with stops, and then going down and execute on your end of the floor offensively.
A couple more, actually. Bob in the far back.
Just on the second chance points, 16 to 9. I know it was a problem against Houston, but there were some really critical ones down the stretch. How do you coach that? How do you get these guys to really fully understand what you've got to do in those situations?
Well, Bob, the last couple of games, I thought we did a pretty good job in that regards. TCU's a really good second chance offensive rebounding. Everybody in our league's a pretty good offensive rebounding team, and they've got really good older bodies that do a good job of rebounding down. We knew in this game coming in that not only the post guys were good rebounders, but their guards were good rebounders too. Lipsy always sticks around that free throw area and always gets second chance points, and he's really good at it, and the thing we tried to do going into the game, knowing that we needed all 5 guys looking when the shot went up to try to block out and try to play to the strength of that. If we're able to get the rebound, now we got to push the ball up the floor and not let their defense get set, because a lot of times they have 4 or 5 guys below the free throw line trying to get second chance points. It's a big part of their offense. And, give, Lipsy credit, and his guards credit. Those guys ran down some 50-50 balls that they got late, and they converted those, So, again, we just got to continue to lock in and understand taking away second chance points is really big. They had 16 offensive rebounds and, 14 turnovers. That's tough in this league. It's to Cedric's point. Margin is really, really thin in terms of what you have to be able to do. And these games come down to possession games. And even late in the game, I thought our guys executed, on what we were trying to get done offensively. It just came down to trying to get the stops that we need to get to win the game.
Yeah.
Far
RTO's going to ask you, you hit 10 of 12 shots to cut that 18-point lead down to 3, and Dizu scores 17, hits 7 of those shots. You just talk about how special that play was. You had Max score 13 in a row to break a tie in the last game, and then Dizu goes wild in the final 8 minutes.
Yeah, I think again, I think both guys in both performances, I think, we know their game plan for both of those guys, and we need them to put it in the books for us every night. And, early, I didn't think Dizu was as aggressive as he needed to be, and, I was on him pretty hard at halftime about, man, you gotta bring this thing right now, man. When you're open, you gotta shoot the ball, and that open look may be the best look that we get in the possession, and you can't pass those up and around the basket. You gotta convert those plays, and same thing with Max. I was in Max pretty good the other day, and I said, it's your time, man. You got to step up and get this done right now. You're a big time player, and it's your time to step up and be that guy. And both of those guys credit, man. The team's game plan for those guys at a high level, and I think again they handle themselves very well. And every time that they're challenged, I think they step up to the plate and really try to get it done for us at a high level. Again, give Iowa State a lot of credit. I thought they started the game well, and they finished when they needed to finish down the stretch here.
Coach, as you're saying, your offense kind of runs through Disu and A. Smith at this point. In the first half when they can't really get anything going, how can you kind of look to get other guys like Tyrese or Mitchell or Caden or IT or anyone going to kind of...
Well, we're playing elite level defenses now. It's not like we're not playing any guys that can't guard. A lot of teams in our league, in particular, you can just look at the last 3 ball games. I mean, every one of those teams are really, really good defensively, and they really thrive on trying to turn you over and speed you up. And these are nationally ranked defenses that we're playing against. And we knew there was going to have to be one of those kind of games where we're going to need to cut, space the floor. They make it really hard for you initiating your offense. They try to run you out off your dribble handoffs, so really spacing the floor, playing with really good cuts, really hard to get a lot of good clean looks. So when you have a clean look, you got to be shot ready to bid and nail that, step into that shot and score that basketball. Because again, against elite level defenses, they're designed not to give you great looks. They're designed to protect the paint. They're designed if you go in and dribble where you're not supposed to, they'll take your ball, and stuff. So, again, I thought we were much better in the second half. We had better spacing. I thought our guys attacked, and we were much more aggressive in the second half than we were the first half. But, again, you tip your hat to them doing what they do best. They guard really well, and they really try to keep you out of the paint, and they contest your shots. They try to take your best scorers away. And make it very difficult for them, and to where other guys do have to step up and make shots and make plays for you. But again, I thought we settled in. We got into a groove in terms of playing and scoring in the second half. Then we just needed to buckle down and put some consecutive stops together and try to close the game out.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.